Hello, everyone. Good evening. Let me see how many people get in here. I do apologize for being late. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, so before we get into tonight's video, some rules. Are there any mods in here? Any mods? I know Ebony Cummings. I know you're a mod. Only one. Okay, Ebony, can you please keep the chat clean and nice? No mean girls. They're going to get blocked. If you would like to be a mod, please email me and send me your YouTube channel link if you're interested. Okay? Okay, I just want to make sure the mods are in place. I'm going to go ahead and play my intro. Mean girls and guys. I mean, I call them girls too. I mean, if they in the chat box. I mean, the title says that this is for women, But let me go ahead and play my intro, and then we're going to get right into tonight's video / interview with Samantha Cooker. Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Okay, so I know there's a little confusion. Tonight is my last video, and then I'm going on my break, okay? I forgot I had this previously scheduled and forgot all about it. This is why I need a break, because I forgot all about this that I had pre-scheduled. And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, I knew I forgot something. So this is my last video before I go on my break, and a good one. So let me bring Samantha in really quick. I'm trying to get my... Just give me one moment. Hello, Samantha.
Hey, doll. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good evening, ladies. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm really excited to chat with you tonight because, I watched your socially awkward church girl video, and I needed that video at like 25. So
all right.
It was just well balanced and it was real. It's sometimes we're taught to be excessively one way, and I felt like you gave a more balanced perception, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to bring you on. The girls in the chat had so many questions. And I'm interested in getting to know and learn more about your perspective on, being the socially awkward church girl, going from that, and then also just like hearing more of your perspective because you also seem more mature, older.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that this conversation is really for the 30 and up club. So let's start off with you just introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about why you started your channel and what was your inspiration.
Uh, I am Samantha Cooker. I am for Black women first, period. And I started my channel. Some people were leaving the divestment space. And I said, this is the time to jump right in. I always have unique take on things. So I decided to jump right in and get the ball rolling. And it's been an interesting ride ever since.
Okay. Was there something that like really inspired you, triggered you to like really just dive in for any smaller content creators that are a little hesitant to put themselves out there?
Uh, there was there was a fight in the divestment camp, which is like every day. And I decided, we need something different. We need something. I wanted to give my response
Mhm.
because sometimes the bigger creators, they don't realize what they're doing and how it's interpreted. So I wanted to create my own lane and go from there.
Okay. So I'm just gonna jump right in. And you guys, I'm gonna leave all her information in the description box. You should really check out her channel because her perspective is one that I think you should consider. So I'm just gonna start off by saying this. What inspired you to create the video, Socially Awkward Church Girl?
So right now I'm doing a series for the socially awkward. I got an email from one of my listeners, and I love my listeners. Thank you guys for being here. And she was talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but I could read between the lines that, and maybe you can speak to this even on your channel or those of you who have platforms. There's a lot of Black women who do not know the basics of dating. They do not know it. And so when we say level up, when we say be hypergamous, when we say swirl, they know it in their head, but what that looks like step by step,
Mhm,
there's a disconnect. And so there's a lot of blaming of Black men. There's a
mhm.
lot of blaming of fat phobia. There's a lot of blaming of colorism when there's just a lot of Black women who are so.
I know you lying. Hold on, we lost her here for a sec. Somebody said, well. Thank you for the super chat, Mocha Mommy. I like that name. That's cute. Okay, I'm not. What happened? Are you guys able to hear her? I'm not able to hear anything. I know you lying. Ah, okay, Samantha, if you can hear me, I'm gonna remove you and then add you back. Okay? Because my connection on this side is good. Y'all, I know you lying. I'm about to be mad. Okay, let me bring her back. Hello? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine.
So I was saying, I wanted to create something that was really boots on the ground. This is what it's supposed to look like, so that you can level up. Because a lot
Mm.
of women understand the principles in theory, but they don't understand it in practice. And so,
Ooh.
like I said, they were blaming colorism, they were blaming fat phobia, they were blaming featureism, texturism, Black men, everybody's to blame except doing the inner work on yourself. And so
What
I
is the
started
inner
with
work? What is because everyone talks about the inner work, but what is it exactly?
and I'm gonna say this in love. I'm gonna say this in love. Some of us, when I say socially awkward, a lot of Black women are socially stunted, and you have to grow up. Your mother didn't teach it to you, your grandma didn't teach you, so you have to sadly raise yourself to teach yourself how to sit like a lady, how to be comfortable with men,
Mm.
how to be charming and mysterious and be feminine and beautiful. A lot of church girls, they're very homely, and they wonder why the hoe gets all the attention. Well, the quote unquote hoe, she's fashionable, she's mysterious, she's beautiful to the eye, she's enchanting to him. So if the church girl can learn a little bit from the quote unquote hoe, and the hoe can learn the social graces that we were taught in the church, how to
Mhm.
sit, never speak too loud, you know, you know, wherever the women go, you go. You don't sit around a bunch of men. All that charm stuff that we learned in the church, well, the quote unquote hoe, she can learn from us and we can learn from her.
Mm.
So just that's just so those of you who are, especially if you're 30 and 40 plus, you do have to almost reparent yourself, and that can be hard because you don't want to face the fact that you are socially awkward, and that you are stunted. And so that can be hard to look yourself in the mirror,
Mm.
because a beautiful woman like you has no problem with Black men. And you're a very principled woman. You're a very, you know, you don't have any problems attracting them now.
No, I don't have any
Who-
problems
who-
attracting them.
Right, right. But
But ooh.
there's a lot of Black women who are not attracting anyone.
Mm.
And so dating is a numbers game. Who
Mhm.
you attract, your numbers make a difference on if you're going to walk down that aisle. And if you're not attracting anyone,
And
you,
that's one
you
thing that I did notice, that now that you point that out, now that I'm sought after more, I
mhm.
noticed that my options are better.
How about that?
I
Yeah.
noticed that. You just
hmm
pointed that out to me. So, like, you're still gonna have the dusties, right?
Right. You're
But
going to have
like,
the cookies.
okay, it's like everyone is talking about this girl. Like, who is this girl? And no one really knows that much, but they know enough, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, you're right. You're
hmm
right. You're
hmm
right. I love that. Okay, so my next question is, why do you think mostly women believe in this purity before marriage, but not men today? Like, it seems like it's culturally one-sided, accountability,
hmm
and women, and I also feel like some of it is that, especially in the church, we were scared out of becoming one with our sexuality.
That's major. That's major. So it's patriarchy. A major part of patriarchy is protecting the womb,
Mm.
because the womb is resources, is the bloodline, is the future of the nation, is the future of the race. And so men have this thing that we can say a lot about men. They are not dumb. So if they get a pure woman, they don't have to compete with her other lovers. If they get a hoe, they can justify rape. They can justify out of wedlock marriage. They can justify all kind of things that they do to terrorize us. And they say she's a hoe, so she doesn't deserve protection. She doesn't deserve. So either way, we lose, and
Mhm.
either way, they gain. So it's just men pulling the the strings, and that's why I'm saying to those of you who are church girls, you have to take life by the horns, because what they taught us only benefited the men.
Yes. I
Okay, and let's be honest. Reserving yourself for marriage is beautiful,
it
but
is.
like she said, it's one-sided. Okay, and it's very one-sided, and you will lose out if you don't grab your love life, your sex life. You're going to be 90 and you missed out on so many beautiful experiences.
30 plus club, ladies.
Yeah.
30 plus. Okay. 30 plus. Okay. We're not talking
hmm
about the teenagers and the teeny boppers. We're talking about
right.
30s and up. So you grown.
hmm
And I have another question because you made a great point. How do you feel we can take our power back as women, like the church girl, the hoes of the world?
First off, oh, that's wonderful. Twisted
Oh my
Integrity.
God.
Yes.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Definitely, you guys support Yanni. And I love that name because my sister's nickname is Yanni. So I know we're
Nice.
sisters for a reason, digital sisters.
I love that. I love that. Thank you.
So how do we take our power back? Just ignore the men. They have their agenda, and we have to, especially as older women, we have to realize the game and step out of that game and say, listen, the young guns can play that game, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. As wise women,
Mm,
as grown women, we understand the game, and now we're playing by our own
rules.
sheet of music. We're doing our
Mm-hmm.
own thing. And
Mm,
ladies, it doesn't have to be you being a nun versus being a hoe. I don't know why black women really we really have a unique relationship to sex. It's either all or nothing. And I'm saying
mhm.
if you can't be a hot girl, can you be a warm girl? Okay, can you get some action? Can you go on a date every other month? Can you after you spend some time with them, get to know them a little bit, then can you open yourself up sexually? Because I think a lot of you church girls are afraid of men. You're terrified of sex. And so you push modesty and you push chastity to kind of, and I mean, the people who raised us, they taught us to, don't get pregnant, leave them alone, no dating. So we push men away. But what do you do when you want company and you don't want to just hang out with your girls all the time? You want a man, so you have to, write your own script at this point.
Mm. Yeah, because it's there's no blueprint.
Right, right.
Okay, I like that. Any tips on how women can navigate the dating scene, celibate in a version though?
Um, like I said, you can still entertain men. And this is the thing, black women, if I'm dating him, I have to have sex. No, get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is one thing that those of us who are a little bit more experienced just go on a date just to get out the house. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of y'all, a lot of black women need practice.
I do that all
Okay,
the time.
you need to get out your house. Just go. Look, he's looking forward to being in the company of a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Get a free meal, go out to the movie or whatnot, or the season is spring is coming in, so dust off your little what do they call it, your little spring dress, and get all cute, and go out and spend time. And this is one thing about the more experienced, they don't take everything so serious. Your
Seriously.
first date, you're just getting to know him. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a marriage proposal. It's just go and get to know the person. And then eventually, if he crosses off the list, then you can entertain taking it further intimately. Okay.
I really want black women to have fun with dating. I don't why is it so serious?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Because of the church, it's either dating for marriage, it's never dating to just date, and see what's out there. And then
We date our girlfriends
that's a good point. Uh huh. We'll
and
date
we have a good
everybody
old
else.
time. So I just wish we could flip that, like
Right.
reverse that. It's
Hmm.
you date your friends all the time. There's no sex involved. Well, some of us, there's no sex involved with that. So it's like just flip your perspective on the fact that you feel like you have to be different with a man. Like actually have fun. It should be lighthearted in the
Right.
beginning. I like that. Okay. And then my next question is why do you think there are so many single women in the church, but not too many single men? And then I'm going to follow up with why do Christian men marry non Christian women?
Um, So, especially in the black church, the breakdown of the family, the crack epidemic, and the gender war right now, and then the rise of the hoteps, I think caused a lot of particularly black men to unplug from the church. The sisters have always upheld the church. And so I think that's where the gender dynamics are. And if I'm Black women first, and I'm pro divestment. So if you want a Christian man, on some Sundays you go to your Black church, but then go down the street to the white church. Because I tell you, it's a bunch of men up in those churches. Okay. And they're nice guys. They love the Lord. They got a good spirit. They'll take you on a legitimate date. Okay. Not Netflix and chill. They'll respect your body. They still may want to taste the rainbow, but they're still conservative, so open up your options, because Christian men or men who are conservative are everywhere. Okay. And listen, I got married let me not go down that road, but it's many women who got married, and their husband goes to church every Sunday, is active in the church, and they still had to deal with pornography. They still had to deal with infidelity. They still had to deal with him being unstable financially. So a Christian man is not a God. He's not Jesus. Okay. I mean, those of you who are church girls, the Bible. The disciples were crazy. Each and every one of them had their issues. Okay. And the same is for a lot of these Christian men. They got a lot of psychosis. Okay. And so that's why I think there's some numbers imbalance. And then what was the second question?
Well, why do they choose non-Christian women? Why do Christian single men choose non-Christian women? And we are loyal to Christian men.
So it goes back to the unbeliever, the unchristian woman is fun. She's interesting. She's colorful. She has a life. She can talk about something else besides Moses. Okay. So, like I said, you can learn a lot. And then it's for a lot of men, it's the forbidden fruit. They like what they shouldn't like. And so, which is a lot, why, the bad guy will come to church and get a little holy, and those men who like the unbelievers, and this is me dipping into the shadow work, a lot of them connect with those unbelievers on some level. Is why the guy likes the hoe. If a man likes a hoe, he's a hoe. Okay. How can two walk together unless they be agreed? He may be straight laced, he may be a pastor, but it's something about that unbeliever that feels familiar to him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's something about that strange woman. Even we even talk about within race. Okay, it's something about that other woman of another tribe, of another race, that feels familiar, that feels safe, that feels intriguing, that feels fun. And so he's just, as a man in the patriarchy, he's just going to do what he wants to do. Okay, and so that's why we're loyal to the church, and they have the freedom. Men don't put boxes on themselves like
they
we
don't. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to bring up the point that why is it that I feel like men are able to live, make their mistakes, right? Be Christian men, but women it's almost like we can't live, we can't explore, we can't experiment, right? And still be believers of the church. We must get it right the first time. And it's kind of similar to the household, how boys are raised versus how girls are raised is significantly different, and the accountability is just not the same. And so it's almost like some Christian women feel like they have to be perfect, they have to get it right the first time, but these men, it's like they can slack by a lot.
Yeah, so that's just and ladies, especially as you get older, you have to tap into, if you want to call it the masculine, and one of the keys of the masculine is freedom, options. Choosing one of the things about there being no blueprint is you get to make it up as you go along, and you get to craft your own pattern. See, and listen, people going to judge you regardless. So you might as well enjoy, explore, figure out what you like. A lot of you church girls, a lot of us church girls, we don't know what we like other than church. You know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about the tips for the socially awkward, I keep telling y'all to get a life. You know, get literally a life. And so now when you go on a date, you have something to talk about. You're interesting, you're charming, you're not just a pretty face. I mean, the pretty face has power, but
It
you
does.
know, that inner work, that's just icing on the cake for him. And he said, I want more of her. So
I like that. Now, my next question is pretty popular, especially here on this channel. How can single moms navigate dating when the child is with them majority of the time?
and listen, as a married woman, single women, please, at least you know you doing on your own. Sometimes we as married women, it looks like we have a partner in terms of raising the kids, but those of you who are married know a good 75-80% of the parenting, them kids gonna be with you. So if the kids are with you the majority of the time, see what resources you have in your area. Uh, if you're in an area and it's just you, you don't have a lot of family, there are centers that have drop off care on the weekends, and you can go and literally drop off the kids. The YMCA, they have
Well,
drop
that's a
off
good one.
care. A lot of that's coming back, especially with COVID. And you know, the little kids, they have little things for the toddlers. They have video games for the older kids, and you know, kids don't need much. They'll play with each other, make up all kind of games. So use those resources on Google.com. You know, Google.com. Find what resources, and if not, if you don't have family close by, listen. And even if you don't want to date, sometimes as a mom, you just need a couple hours just to be by yourself. Nobody's grabbing on you or require care.com. And what you can do is what I do with those type of things where you hire a babysitter, you have cameras around your house. And I usually pick a babysitter who's like over 21. And usually a woman who's over 21, she has kids too. You know, and so we end up becoming friends. That's how it was where I lived before. I would babysit her kids, she would babysit my kids, and it became like, you know, we were supporting each other as mothers. So look into that. You know what I'm saying? It may take a few times before you get somebody who's solid, you know, but that person, and
I know you lying. What's going on? I don't understand. Let me try to remove her again and add her back because it's not even moving no more. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Let me see. Oh no, y'all, it's still frozen. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think she's coming back. I know, I'm like, wait a minute, it's just now getting good. No. I had to do this interview before I went on my little break. Okay, okay. Let's try again. I don't know what's going on.
hello.
Okay, okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, so like I said, if you go on care.com and you find somebody solid, you know, y'all kids play together, you babysit when she needs a break, she babysits when you need a break, and you go like that, and you kind of you build this relationship, you know. Also, like I said, the daycare that your children go to, you can ask them, do they babysit for after hours or babysit on the weekends. And that's who usually babysits now where I am. You know, my daycare, it's a younger woman and an older woman, and the older woman babysits on the weekends. So whenever I have something I need to go to, an event, she babysits, and I know they're safe. The kids know her, X, Y, and Z. So there's many ways to skin a cat. And as a single mother, your first date probably doesn't need to be at night. Maybe you can have a
Mhm.
brunch date. You
I
can
like
have
that.
some type of something in the day. You know, go to the movies or go to something simple, whatever you like to do, and just keep it short. Getting to know you and get on out of there. Get home to your kids, and listen. When you're dating, ask the right questions so you don't waste time. You know, don't ask him what's his favorite color. Ask him, what do you do for a living? What type of restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant? Because you want to ask
You know,
those
it's tax
poignant
bracket.
questions so you're not wasting your time with a babysitter if he's not really going to be a serious contender. So you want to ask the right type of questions to kind of screen them. And then if this guy is, oh, I like him, he makes good money. His baby mama is 2 states away out of the business. She not texting me on Facebook or all that weird stuff. He seems like he's over his ex. He's not talking about the ex in every new conversation. Okay, he'll get a date, you know?
I
So you
like
don't have to
that.
go out on a date with everybody who seeks interest with you. Just the ones that you're like, this one's a good catch. So I'll hang on in there with this one. So
Okay, I like that. And my next question is this: does chastity make sense for women today? Like we see so many women, or we see so many men wipe hoes over wholesome.
uh okay, let's keep it a buck. And just think about it. Just if your competition is giving out $7 and you're giving out zero, who's going to get picked first? The one who's bringing something to the table, or the one who's giving
I don't understand. It keeps going in and out. Oh my gosh, y'all. It was getting good. It was getting good. Please keep in mind this is 30 and up, 30 and up. This is 30 and up. Okay, there we go. What
Okay,
okay.
sorry about that, guys.
Did you see I draw a flower?
Hold on, let me see if I can. Did I remove?
Okay, so chastity is impractical, but if that's something you're passionate about, just know that you know the market, okay? And you just have to be realistic about, there's going to be less people interested in you because you're giving out so little versus your competition. So just be realistic about that. And listen, let's go here. God does not owe you a husband for being pure. And let me go here. Some of y'all say y'all celibate or chaste or whatnot. And some of these women who talk like that, honey, they still giving out BJs. They still doing anal. So I know about how some of us as women we consider ourselves pure, but we're just talking about vaginal sex. When some of y'all be doing more. Some of y'all could give some of us quote unquote hoes some advice. Okay, so miss me with that, y'all. Okay. But just if you're really serious and you're trying to do it the right way, just know that you just know the market. You know what you're dealing with. And again, God does not owe you anything. He does not promise anywhere in His Word anything like that. Okay, because so just be clear about your life choices. Okay, just be clear about your life choices. And like I said, the guys, there's two things about why the guys like the hoes. Give me 1 second.
Them is me either. I wasn't ready.
But like I said, a lot of times the guy likes the hoe because she's fun, she's enchanting, she's flirty. You know, she knows the quote unquote hoe, and I keep saying quote unquote because everybody's definition of a hoe is different.
It's
And
different.
black women tend to be very Victorian.
Mhm,
If you have
mhm,
more than 5 bodies, you're a hoe. You know, come on.
mhm.
But uh, it's like the man who goes fishing. He can get 30 fish in a net, but the one he takes a picture one, the one fish he takes a picture of is the one he had to work for. He
Mhm.
had to wrestle with. He had to conquer, and that hoe represents the woman he had to conquer. So, men like that chase, they like the thrill. So don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. And even the bad guy may like the church girl because she won't give it up so easy. So I got to work for this one. I got to
Mhm.
earn it. So, there's a lot of layers to why. And again, men who like the hoes tend to be the hoe. Exhibit A, Kanye West. And those ain't the men you want to get married to, no way. So you don't need to be jealous. What is Psalms 37? Don't be jealous of the evildoer. Okay, don't
Mhm.
be jealous of her. Okay, because what she got with how she got it, she gonna pay in her own way.
And she
Okay,
clearly
God has a
can.
way of evening out the score, so you don't got to worry about nobody else's grass. Okay, uh, you know, life has a way of checking all of us. Okay, and even those women, and I'm gonna do another installment for the socially awkward because maybe you were a hoe but you don't know how to turn the corner.
Mm.
After a while, being a hoe gets boring. You're not even thrilled with sex the way you used to be because it's just some dude pounding you. But
Mm.
how do you shift? You know how to get a man's attention with sex, but how do you do with your clothes on? That's a different. That's a different. That's a different strategy. Because it's easy to get a man's attention when you half naked. What do you do when you got to be covered up? And you got to get him with your personality, with your charm. That's a different
Mm.
skill. And some women struggle with that shift. You know, because what do men like to do? They get the hoe and then they want to take her to a Sunday church event, and she don't know, like she's like a fish out of water. So it's a struggle all the way around. So
Definitely, definitely. So, my next question is, what advice do you have for 30-plus-year-old women that are virgins? They did everything right. They have the college degree, financially stable, and have a nice home, but have no suitors.
okay, if you're 30 plus and you did quote unquote everything right, you probably missed a few people who were interested in you seriously, but you may have not had chemistry with them, or you just assumed somebody better would come down the line, or somehow you may have just missed the turn. So again, uh those of you who are churchy, I really want you to step your game up in terms of looks.
Mm.
Okay, even when you go to church, okay, I want you to step your game up in terms of looks. Okay, I want you to get out there, and I want you to really make a decision how long you want to be a virgin, because you know I'm trying to be gracious. Okay, I'm trying to be gracious, and I want to be good, right? Because we holy over here, but you
We are
know,
holy, but people come for the real. They can disagree all day.
right? Because you don't have to wear the fact that you're a virgin on your sleeve. Some of
Mm.
y'all wear that across your chest, and that's all you are. You know, so date, and then when you meet a guy who maybe he's not perfect, but he's decent enough, give him the opportunity to have sex, and you go that route. Because those of you who are your first time is not going to be magical, even if it's with your husband. Your first time is not going to be magical with unicorns and rainbows. That whole fantasy, no, no, no. Your first time is probably going and you got to learn that. It's not just sex. You got to learn your body. You got to learn what size fits you. You got to learn. It's a lot to sex, and God was right that learning process should be between two people, but we're not in that situation right now. So you have to make adjustments. You know, do you apply to jobs in the way they applied to jobs in 1930, or do you have to shift with the times? And I'm
Do
saying, sis, you're going to have to shift with the times.
but
Okay.
what do you feel are the pros to waiting now after 30 and the cons to waiting?
The pros, first off, health. Just straight off. Health is the main thing. And then when you get sex involved, especially if you're inexperienced, you can get your emotions tied up into it. And
Mhm.
so when you leave sex off the table, it helps you to really, I think it makes you see the suitor clearly. Because if he's a so-so kind of guy, but the sex game is good, you're going to be addicted to him, and you're going to be. But and then on the
Ooh,
other
gross.
hand, if he's a wonderful man on paper and he treats you like a princess, but he got a thumbelina and lasts 2 seconds, you know, you're not going to take him seriously either. So the health benefits, there's a lot of mental health issues going on. I would not be surprised that the high levels of sex that's going on in this country is connected to why the mental health is out of control right now. So and then when you're in your 30s, you're dealing with your biological clock is killing you. So not having sex, you take that issue off the table. Now, if you're, and this is the thing, ladies, you can have a healthy sex life and have spermicides and not get pregnant. You don't have to have every baby you get pregnant by. Okay? But if you're nervous about something like that, not having sex, clearly you're not going to get pregnant. So, the cons is just again your competition is fierce out here. And so if you're celibate, you know, even the Christian men don't want a virgin. Even
Which is crazy to me.
right, even the Christian men want to try before they buy. So again, you're going to pick your poison, okay, in this life. And so it's not easy, but you choose what makes sense for you in your life, and realize, you're not promised a husband the longer you wait. Jesus came to save your soul. The rest is on you. Okay? Your life, the course it takes, that's on that. We like to say our life is in God's hand, and it is. But a portion of that is making decisions for your life. Okay? And then having to rest in those decisions. Okay? So that's that.
Okay. The reason is because I think 30 plus year old versions sometimes I don't think they're being realistic. It's
Right.
the ones that want kids at
Mm,
least, because I'm like it gets harder and harder and harder. And when I came to that realization, it was a hard pill to swallow because I was taught the complete opposite,
mm,
and it plagued me,
right.
honestly. So I felt set up. That's how I felt set up. I felt that people just wanted me to do with, the right thing, but they didn't even do the right thing. I mean,
Right, right,
my
right.
grandmother, she was pregnant before she was married. I found that out later. And then my mom, I mean, she got pregnant too. So it was just like they expected me to be all of these things, but they weren't even that.
Right,
And if they told the truth. But back then, a lot of older women were told to keep quiet about their mistakes,
right.
especially because of the church. But
Right.
I noticed how those women they got married, whether you like the men they married or not. They were able to get married and have children, which was their dream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know. It's a tough decision. It's not an easy decision to make. And I feel like a lot of people, when you come to that realization, you're it's gonna be a hard decision. That's all I gotta say. But if
Mm-hmm.
you know you want kids, I would think long and hard about it
Right.
for sure. Um, oh, and then I had to follow up with this question because you gave them the real. What do you tell women that complain about being single, are virgins, and have a dating life that sucks, but refuse to compromise?
Well, if you refuse to compromise, then where you are right now, you'll be in 15, 20, 30 years. Is that what you want? So either you're going to change and, like I said, take your dating, your personal life by the horns, or you're going to just keep waiting. And you'll keep waiting as your metabolism gets worse. You get waiting as your eggs die. You keep waiting. We already know the older you get, the harder it is on the dating market. And if you think you're shy about your body now at 30 or 32 or 35, you're going to be even more self-conscious about your body in 15, 20 years. So don't compromise and see where it gets you. Okay. One of the reasons why me, because I was a church girl, but I went to a church, and I never forget it. It was like a group of women who were like missionaries. They did all kind of beautiful things in the community, all single, 50s, 60s, never married. I said, Lord, I can't go out like that. And these were beautiful Black women. And I said, if they are beautiful in their 50s and 60s, they must have been something in their 30s. And I said, how? I said, Lord, how did you let these women Lord, I said, Lord, if you ain't give them a husband, I might as well pack it up now. So, but that's when the Lord really got me to talk to really studying this wait on the Lord. And this is what I said in my video. Waiting on the Lord has only been said in the Bible about war. Okay. Never about waiting for a husband. Okay. Adam didn't wait
Where
for
did we get that from?
lazy pastors who don't study their Bible and just want to give the women just something quick to shut them up. They don't know. They don't know.
So you think
You know.
you think some of these pastors prey on the single woman's
Yeah,
insecurities?
yeah. Because we talk about there's no one in the Black community really training men. They're only preaching to women, and a lot of that the pastors should have been teaching a lot of the young men. But no, you wait on the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're not telling them that. That's what's so
they told
lopsided.
us to wait on the Lord while a whole generation of Black men left the church.
Yeah.
So who are we waiting for exactly? And let me tell you, ladies, it's a hustle, because if you're a single woman, you can tithe more. You can handle all the community projects. Your time is for the church. So you not get, because right, a married woman with children, she listen. I used to be a church girl and I lived at the church. I love ministry, but once I got
Mm.
married and had kids, oh, that was a wrap. But a single woman who's able-bodied, oh, she can do everything in the church. She can write those big checks to pastor. So it's not just you know, it's the poor dating advice, but single women, they can handle so many ministries at once. They have all these administrative skills. So, listen, we're getting shafted going and coming as Black women. So like I said, make your own decisions for your own life. Okay.
But and it's I was so gullible and naive.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. Like they sold me a dream and I
Mm,
bought it. And you get to a certain age and you realize that it was just a fantasy. It was just a dream.
come on now. Come
And
on.
so
Come on.
that's what woke me up. I'm like,
Hmm.
they said, do this and do that, and you do it, and nothing.
Right.
And
And nothing.
I couldn't at every turn, and I want to say this, at every turn, they teach Black women to not want more.
Come on now.
Somehow they keep us stuck
Hmm.
on, and we never get to actually live out our happiness.
Right.
I
Right.
know that. And that's what I want the women in the chat box to know. Like at the end of the day, it's your decision, it's your life. But when do you actually get to live it?
Come on. Yep.
When do you get to get out here and live? And we seen our brothers, our boy cousins, our uncles, they went out here and did the most reckless stuff. I'm not saying that that's what you should do.
Hmm.
I'm saying you need to live. And by
Live.
living, you're going to make mistakes, right?
Hmm.
But you're smart. You're a smart girl. But you're going to have to wake up and see that a lot of the things that were fed to you, it was a fantasy. At
Hmm.
every turn, they do not want a Black woman to live her life and be happy and be adventurous. I was mentoring a 48-year-old Black woman earlier today on weight loss. And the number one thing that stuck out to me, she inspired me throughout our whole session, but she just wanted to live. She got married twice, had 3 kids, and she loves her kids to death. But she
Right.
wished she would have done things differently. And the number one thing she wants is freedom.
Come on
She says
now.
she wants freedom. She says she's tired. She's tired of being the backbone and she just wants freedom. She wants to lose weight. And
Hmm.
that really touched me today because I see that a lot. I see a lot of women heading in that path, not wanting to wake up and live.
Hmm.
Not
Hmm.
everything don't have to be a fight or a battle. And I feel like that's what they groomed us to be, a fight, a battle. Even when it comes to getting a husband, we can't even date for fun. That has to be a struggle and a battle. At every turn, they don't want us to live. And when you come to that realization, I think you're going to start living a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, I do want to say I had a girl comment, which I felt like her comment stuck out to me, but she commented under the video that I did where I reacted. And she said, all I knew from my parents was don't have sex, don't get pregnant, wait on the Lord. Some of these older church women have no idea about dating today. My mom was married at 18 to my father. She don't know the struggle. What advice would you give her?
Um, your parents didn't train you that way to hurt you. They really had your best interest at heart. Because come on, if you was the loosey goosey, and me and my sister talk about this all the time. We grew up in the hood and we saw our peers, 3 kids by 18. So even though you may be a late bloomer, uh, you know, better late than too early.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so you got to get a career, you got to get money, you got to, do some things that the girl who, was all out there overexposed to sex or exposed to sex so early. So, um, I'm sorry. On behalf of those women, I apologize. They lie, and I know I sound old, but I'm not as old as I sound. But they lied. They lied. And, for so long, we were not allowed to have conversations like this.
Mhm.
So Black women are really turning a corner. Thank God for social media. I know social media has shown us the devil, but it's also allowed us to have more mature conversations. You're right. The women in your church who've been married 20, 30 years, they don't know. Listen, I've been married for 6 years. I've been out of the market for 10 years. And I'm having to relearn dating because I'm, moving on from my marriage. So can you imagine somebody who's been married for 40 years? You know,
Mhm.
they don't know what's going on right now. And a lot of our elders they still have blinders on. They still don't understand why they see so many black girls in the commercials with the white guys. They don't we see with the Tina Knowles thing, they still have blinders on about their sons. So I'm sorry, but today is the day of salvation now, isn't it? Today
Yes.
is the day to take back your power, and it's hurt. It can be painful. You like, I wasted so much time. And as women, we get time on the back end. We lose time in the early years because of children and the biological clock. But now is the time. Whatever age you are now, you got to get in the game. And at first, you're going to be afraid of sex. You're going to be afraid of men. And I notice a lot of black women, they have all this talk to other women, but in the presence of men, they get real quiet. They get real bashful. So you're going to have to find a lot of us were not raised with fathers. So that affects how we relate to the masculine. So you got to look. Now is the time to relearn. Okay. Now is the time to get in the ring. And listen, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to kiss a couple of frogs, but that's a part of dating. That's a part of learning sex. That's a part of learning your body. You know, it's not just, and it's not just going to be, yeah, some of you, with sex, you're going to have to learn your body, and you might have to entertain masturbation. A lot of us had to learn what we needed from masturbation so we could teach our partner what we needed. And that's not what church girls do. You'd be surprised how many the older women in your church right now who got all kind of vibrators. So a lot of people are running game. A lot of people around here are lying. So that's why I say now is the time. Today is the day of salvation. The day is the day to change course and write your own script for your life. Okay? Come out of all that homely stuff. Some of you black women who live in the church, you have beautiful bodies, you have beautiful faces, and you're hiding it because your church told you not to put on makeup, not to wear this. I mean, I remember we were in church, and my sister is a tall, dark-skinned woman, and she was getting her legs, as they say, and she got in trouble for wearing a sleeveless dress. The dress was to the floor, but it was you shouldn't have all your shoulders out. And I'm just like, I look back, and she felt so like, and it was a flowery dress. It was age appropriate. We were like 15, but your shoulders shouldn't be out. It's just like, that's why I say. And so, like I said, you're going to have to turn the turn the channel, and the people, they're going to be surprised by your new independence. They are.
Mm.
They're going to be concerned. They're going to think you're crazy. They're going to
I'm
call
going
you
through
a
that right
hypocrite.
now. I'm going through that I'm going through that right
They're going to
now.
call you a hypocrite. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But some of them, they lie on their taxes. They're cheating with their wife. They got all kind of stuff in the. It's not one way to sin. We
It's
only think of
not.
sex as sin, but you talk to some of these people who got all this to say about women's sexuality. They the last people to tell you what to do with your life. Okay, unless they got a nice, well-employed son, and they could give
Right.
you his number, and he's completely straight. Because a lot of these church boys, see, some of y'all gonna wait, and you're gonna wait, and you're gonna wait. And the guy who takes you up on that offer is gonna be a monster. And you're gonna say, I waited for this shit. Honey,
That's why it's better that you get them frogs out the way.
Come on now, you know
Better
it.
get the frogs out the way. I done got my. I think I maybe got a few more frogs. Hopefully not. I hope the last frog I had was the last one. But you got to go through the frogs to get to your prince.
Right.
That's the truth. And that's what they don't want to tell you. And
Right.
it's crazy. So my next question is this: what do you tell women who feel that being the good girl will save them?
It will not. Being the good girl, listen, like I said on my video, imagine Ruth and Boaz. All those other good Hebrew women were looking for a husband, and Boaz passed up all of them to get to Ruth. Okay, listen, and you can wait on Jesus and you can pray, but in the dating department, let me explain it like this. We often say Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega, and we think of that as time. But think about an alpha male. An alpha is active, right? But look up what an omega man is. An omega man is inactive. He is the slob. He does nothing. And God is equally active and absolutely silent. And that's why in one area of your life, God can be boom, 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 boom. You get everything you want. In another area of life, he's quiet on the set. He is equally there and asleep at the wheel. And for a lot of us in the dating realm, the Lord is asleep at the wheel. So what you gonna do? It's up to you to write your story now. Now that you know better, now that you have wonderful examples, and Yanie, I'm gonna use you as an example. If you're a church girl, even if you're going out with a nice man from the church, you need to look like Yanie. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Natural. It's not a cake face. It's not overdone. It's tasteful. It's feminine. Okay. She's all covered up, but it's colorful. Okay. The print is nice. It complements her skin. That's what it's supposed to look like. You can be conservative and still covered and still tasteful and still pretty.
I feel like I get chased more now that I dress like this.
Come on, listen.
It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy because when I dressed the other way, people made assumptions that I had at least 2 kids, 2 baby daddies. Just being real with you. So cover up a little bit. It does a lot. It does a lot. It does a lot.
You could play around with prints. You could play around with all kind of stuff. Yanie, she has the short crop, and she sometimes has the wigs and the wig. So look nice.
Have fun.
Look pretty. Have fun with the color. Come on, we're Black women. We look good in all kind of colors and all kind of hairstyles. Play around with it, okay? All right, and just receive the attention. Stop hiding from the attention. Okay, some of you are even ashamed of the attention. That's how messed up a lot of us are.
Oh my God.
We're taught to get a husband, but the things that you need to do to get a husband, we've been taught not to do it. So you're just going to have to find your own lane. Okay, you're going to have to find your own lane, and it takes a little while to find your look. It takes a little while to figure out makeup stuff, and it could get expensive, but it's worth the investment. She's lost a lot of weight. I know on our channel, we're talking about weight loss. So if that's what you need to do what you got to do. But even if you're plus size, you can still be fashionable, still be pretty, still show up well. Come on now. Some of you who work in tech, you work in a male dominated system. Listen, if the men ain't in church, they at work though.
They are.
They are. They're at the gas station. They are at,
car wash. Women sleep. Go to the car wash, ladies. Football season is over with. Go on Sundays. They are at the car wash right after church.
Come on. Even nowadays, now that the games are starting, go with your friends and look all nice and go to most of the newer stadiums have just an area where people can get beer and they can lounge around. That's where you want to be.
And
Okay.
women need to also understand Ruth selected her man.
Come on now.
She did. She planted herself in that field. She was the one that selected her man. Her man did not select her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. That was one thing that I noticed about her. So if you go to a sports bar and you wear your cute little dress and your heels, even though you're in a sports bar, you're gonna stand out.
Right. Come on.
I've done that. You are gonna
Mm-hmm.
stand out. Everyone is gonna be looking to see who is this girl wearing a pink dress with heels sports bar. And
Mm-hmm.
men don't want to buy you drinks. They may even say, "Hey, is there anything that you want?" I mean, they're just so nice because you're in a dress and everyone else is in jeans and a hat.
Right.
Even other women. So
Right.
I've done it and it works. It works. So try that too. Go to a
Mm-hmm.
sports bar. I like
And
that.
there are men who love God, but
Hmm.
they have experienced church hurt. And so those men, they're not going to go to church every Sunday. They may go here and there, but they love God and they're going to honor you. They're going to respect you. They're going to respect your children. So just be open, to good treatment from men, period. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. So really that's all that I have. Um, the only thing that I do want to leave off with is I just want to the church girls that are out here, I tried to live up to that good girl image, the Miss Perfect, and it also it drove me to suicide because I felt like I was pressured to be this perfect girl and
Mhm.
everyone was looking to me because I didn't have any kids. I wasn't out here entertaining a bunch of men, but I was so miserable.
Mm,
Trying to live up to the expectation of being this good girl, this wholesome image, this good girl image. And I was depressed and I had no room to really breathe and find
mm.
myself.
Right, right.
So I want you guys to make sure that you're not doing that because I can tell you now, it doesn't get you anywhere. You will find yourself at a job that you hate or in a career that you hate.
Mhm.
Your social life isn't what you want it to be. And the older you get, the worse it gets. And so it's like I had to set myself free. And when I did that, people were asking me, is everything okay? I said, yeah, everything is perfectly fine. But it was because I had to break free of that. I wasn't even able to really live in my purpose. I was doing what other people wanted me to do. And that good girl, it really is people pleasing. Like you're
Mm.
pleasing everyone around you but yourself.
Come
And
on.
that's why it drives you to depression, suicide, anxiety. You feel like you have to know it all. And
Right.
now I carry this energy that I don't have to know it all. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Take what was in this video, take what you feel resonates with you, take what you feel will work for you, and just figure it out. Like you don't have to have it all figured out today, but
Right,
get out
right.
here and start experimenting. Play with your look, play with your style. Get out here and just feel yourself out to see what truly works for you and get out of this. Oh, I'm the good girl. I'm the good girl. Like it was great when you were younger, but
Right.
you're a grown woman. No one cares about that. I'm sorry.
Come on. Come on.
No one cares about they do not care. They want you to be authentic. They want you to
Come
be
on.
yourself. They want you to spill mustard on your shirt if you're eating a hot dog and play it off like like you're, the quirky, clumsy girl, but they like you because you're cute, you're feminine, you have a great personality. They like that. So it's like you don't have to be the good girl, the perfect girl, the polished or overly polished girl. Just figure it out, have fun, and don't put that much pressure on yourself because you're just going to be unhappy at the end of the day.
Mhm. And if
Samantha,
you're
did you?
scared, just have a goal. Say it's March. So maybe by the end of April, go on at least one date. And
Mm,
every other month, try just one date just to get yourself comfortable around men, get yourself all groomed up, and just take it one day at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Some women can do serial dating, most women cannot. So, but just give yourself the goal to just get out there.
I love that. I love that. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we end tonight?
No, I am Samantha Cooker. I'm going to do more installments of tips for the socially awkward. I'm going to do tips for the socially awkward, the academic, because some of y'all got all these degrees, but you can't read the room. So we're going to talk to y'all. We're going to talk to those of you who are the reformed hoe. You had that fast lifestyle, but now you want to entertain a different type of man, and you
Mm.
want to entertain him with your clothes on. How do you do that? you know how do you're used to these guys who hit it and quit it and Netflix and chill, but now you want to be treated like a lady. And so how do you avoid getting imposter syndrome sitting among a bunch of church girls? So we're going to deal with a lot of topics about this socially awkward, so that Black women can live their best life.
I
Thank you
love that.
so
I
much
love
for
that
having
you're tackling that topic because I haven't seen anyone on this platform tackle that one.
me.
The reform hoe. I think that's great. I
Yeah,
like that a lot. So thank you, Samantha, for coming on here and gracing my platform with your perspective. And hopefully they'll take something back. I really enjoyed you tonight, and hopefully I can have you back on for something else. I would love that.
definitely. And maybe I can have you on my
I would love that.
channel.
Okay.
Thank
Just
you so much
email
for
me.
highlighting small content creators. We really do appreciate people like you. We do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Bye bye. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to leave links to her channel down below in the description box. If you're interested in her content, I think even if you don't agree, just go over there with an open mind and see what works for you and, take what you want and then leave the rest. That's how I do it. And do what's best for you. You don't have to people please. You don't have to people please me or anyone in the Black woman's empowering space. You should do what is best for you. You are an individual. That's all I'm gonna say with that. But you guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Please give this video a really big thumbs up. I'm gonna be gone for a week or two, and then I'll be back. This is my last video. I said last night was my last video, but I forgot about this video. So this is my last video for at least a week or two. I have plenty of content for you guys to watch, and hopefully that content will hold the fort down until I get back. So you guys have a lovely night, and I will see you guys once I get back. Bye.